In New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. CapitalOTB.com offers live streaming, past performances, race replays, our virtual tote board, analysis and selections from professional handicappers, and a simple, safe, and secure wagering platform. And best of all, you get track prices. Going on now, it's Bet 50, Get 50. Simply open a Capital Bets account, bet $50, and get $50 cash back. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
Welcome back to Racing Across America, live from the Saratoga backstretch as we wind up week number 6 here at Saratoga. We're happy to be visited now by the founder and president of West Point Thoroughbreds, Terry Finley. Good morning, Terry.
Hey, it's really great to be here. Thank you, Seth.
Why don't you give us, for folks who aren't familiar with West Point, just give us a little background on the operation.
Well, we're a partnership, and we started about 22 years ago, and our focus is on New York, and we have about 65 horses in the stable. We have about 450 to 500 clients, depending on the time of the year and the number of horses that we have. And we love what we do, and we think that we do a pretty darn good job of bringing people into the business. I know there are a lot of other people doing the same thing, but thank God for partnerships, because it does overall. Partnerships, they bring a lot of people into the business.
Oh, absolutely. We've talked about it before on the show. Whether you own the whole horse or whether you own the hoof, you root just as hard when they come down the stretch.
We found that to be true. It's hard to talk about, but then when you talk to people who are thinking about that before they get into the business, and they're concerned about that, afterwards they have a horse in contention at the top of the stretch, and they feel that even if they own 10%, all the concerns, boy, they all seem to go away, and they're saying, I want to buy another one. I want to get in on another one. So it's good.
And I have a friend that's a part of some of the West Point horses, Sean Smealy, who I've known since I was a kid. And I saw him earlier in the meet last year. He's been a part of West Point horses, but last year he bought a horse out on his own, and he was lamenting, the horse going to the sidelines and getting dings and whatnot. And he said, no, the West Point is the way to go.
Well, some people aren't good, aren't right for the partnership model, and they should do it themselves. And we find that we have a lot of people that do it themselves, and they stay with it. Others come back. So we just like to get people into the game, because we believe very strongly, as soon as you get a taste of it, and you get a taste of the competition and the spotlight and all the other things that go with owning horses, you're hooked for life.
Yeah, it certainly is very appealing, particularly, again, to be associated with a partnership like West Point, because you're very successful. I did want to touch on one of the names from the past, Awesome Gem. I mean, when you have a partnership, this is the kind of horse you want to end up with.
Everybody says, what are you doing to try to find another Awesome Gem? I said, if I knew what it took to find an Awesome Gem, I probably wouldn't be selling it. But I just was at Delmore. We're in the process of turning him into a stable pony, and it's really a great thing to see an old horse like that. He's actually 9, and he was a graded stakes winner at 9. Well, he's 10 now. He was a graded stakes winner at 9, made almost $3 million. So you can't say enough. They're the backbone of our business.
Yeah, that's incredible. And we're going to take a look at a race from this past week right up here at Saratoga. We are going to look at the Saratoga Sunrise on August 16th. Down the stretch, it's going to be the number 7, Awesome Vision, getting the job done, and getting the job done for West Point Thoroughbreds. Always got to be fun to win up at Saratoga. It is.
It is. Actually, especially when, you start to hear people talk about being on the duck. We came up here, we thought we'd win a couple more races by this time in the meet, but then you start to worry, or you start to think about getting that the first win. So this horse he's a 4-year-old. He's a New York bred. He's really the epitome of a good New York bred, and it is really the prototype for people who are looking to take advantage of what is the best program in the country, that being the New York
Yeah.
Bred program.
And there he is winning the race, and I think I have a couple of shots. I have Irad Ortiz on the scale, so we'll get a little shot of the West Point Thoroughbred silks, which are very distinctive. If folks see those on the racetrack, they will certainly know you guys got the job done. The nice star on the back of the silks. There's Irad on the scale, and we also have another shot. Happy partners, and are partners happier up at Saratoga when they win?
Well, they seem to be. They seem to be.
Nothing like Saratoga.
I think people in general are happier when they're up here. Even if you get your butt kicked all month, it is tough and the pressures, escalated here. But if you can't have a good time and really come away here, really thinking that we've got a big shot and our future is bright, in the business overall, you probably need to find another business. You probably need to get out because, look at the meet that we've all had as an industry, and it's just been so exciting. And, you would think that, better times are ahead for our industry as a whole.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. And, Saratoga, Del Mar, Keeneland, you look at those. And I always say, the mainstream media points to handle attendance figures which go down, and I think there's the big leagues and then kind of the minor leagues, and maybe we have the metrics have to change the way we measure a little bit, because I think we have to look more at the major leagues when we talk about attendance. Saratoga, Del Mar, Keeneland, Oaklawn, Tampa in the wintertime, maybe Gulfstream, those become more, the tracks churning out the day-to-day stuff. I think then you got to look at the handle, because I think the handle figures are still, there's a lot of people playing from their living room that don't get counted. But you talked about win, lose, or draw up at Saratoga. It's always fun. And I'm sure when the check is cut at the end of the day from a $600,000 race, you're pretty happy, but we're going to watch the stretch run here. A day after that race we just saw, you came back with Twilight Eclipse, another good West Point runner who made a world record down at Gulfstream for you earlier this year. And I was downstairs in the clubhouse watching on the big screen behind a contingent of West Point people. And about here, I don't blame them, about here they were going bananas. But you guys ran into the Ramsey juggernaut. Twilight Eclipse is going to run second here behind Big Blue Kitten, but it's still a really impressive performance.
I was about ready to tell the artists to start painting the silks out for the ring outside of the main entrance at the 16th pole here, but that you're right. That was a bad day to run against a Ramsey horse, right? He won three on grade ones all across the country. But the good thing is, I mean, there's a horse that tries all the time. Actually, back to your first point. It's the weirdest thing, in your mind, you'd much rather win a $200,000 race, right? 60%. It's if you don't win, I mean, psychologically, it's a weird aspect of owning horses. Bottom line is they put $120,000 in our account that day, but we'll take it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, just as somebody watching from the outside, I can certainly understand that mental aspect. The win it's a lot more fun to come into the winner's circle than to cash the check. But when you cash the check Monday morning, it still feels pretty good. Yeah.
Everything makes up.
And you guys, this meet, that one win, that's your lone win. But you've had 5 second-place finishes, a couple of third place, and 15 starts. So you're in the money 8 of 15. It's a pretty good meet.
Yeah. Well, we did win twice,
okay,
but we got DQ'd.
Oh,
we
you're
got
right.
DQ'd.
Yeah, that was even more disappointing than.
I thought it was a legit DQ.
Yeah.
You try to be fair, right? I mean, there have been some times in the past where we didn't get taken down. I thought we should, and vice versa. I like to say, over the long run, it's all going to work out, right? You're going to have horses that are put up that you really didn't deserve to have put up, and vice versa. So we took it. I thought we took it like adults that day, but it is tough. It's so tough to win at Saratoga.
Yeah.
Then they take your number down. But you'd like to think that we saved the condition, and we're hoping to get that horse back in by the end of the meet.
Yeah, again, I was kind of standing watching the West Point crew there, and there was jubilation under the wire. But then everybody said, "Are we coming down?" And I thought, I don't know. But then when they showed the head on it, it looked a little dicey. So that was just one. And again, as you say, it's part of the game, and you hope. Yeah. Over the long run, they all even out for you.
I will tell you one thing. One thing I've learned over the years is we do not go into the winner's circle until if they show an objection. And there were a couple of people that rushed in. There were a couple of little girls. They were all dressed up. They're from Albany, and I felt terrible because they were waiting, and then they had to get out. And another group of very happy people ran into the winner's circle. But that's business. Or that's the racing game, and I think it teaches you about life.
Yeah, it is. It's a part of the game. And again, you hope it all evens out for you in the end. Another part of the game, just want to touch on the sales. A couple of weeks ago, and I know you bought a couple. You bought a Philly by Colonel John. You bought a Colt by More Than Ready. Just give us some of your thoughts as a West Point partnership person, what you come into these sales looking for.
Well, we're doing what everybody else. You know, we're trying to get a good athlete that's got a pedigree that gives them the inherent right to be a good horse on the racetrack. Colonel Johnny beat us in the Travers in 2008 with Macho again, and you know, so we ran against him on both coasts, and we really think he has a very good shot. So we thought we got a good value with that filly, and then a More Than Ready colt. Obviously, at that time, Verrazano, I mean, still looks like he's at the very top of the class in the 3-year-old
There's
division.
the horse on the screen now.
So you know, the bottom line is you can make this game very, very complex, or you can do what we've done and really try to simplify things. And at the horse sales, you just got to go over there. You got to do your work. You got to use the technology at hand, and you got to buy horses, and you got to put them in good hands, and try to get them to the races, and right, keep your fingers crossed that they're as good as you think they are. And when that happens, it's, you know, in our business, it's magic. When it doesn't, you know, you move on to the next one.
Yeah, they aren't all home runs, but as we've seen today, horses like Awesome Again, Awesome Vision, a stakes winner at Saratoga, Twilight Eclipse, as I said earlier this year, a world record, which was broken a week earlier. That was the quirkiest thing. It had been a record for about 30 years, I think. Broken out of Santa Anita. A week later, you guys come back and break the world record. But you guys, there were 3 of just a bunch of West Point horses that are very, very successful. So we tip our cap to you. And before I let you go, Terry, just want to go back. West Point obviously indicates your background in the military. And I wanted to mention, while we have the chance, the New York Racing Association is going to honor the armed forces, veterans and active duty people on Wednesday. If you bring a military ID, you get into the track for free. There'll be a couple of ceremonies honoring the veterans and the active people. And I know your background is in the military as well.
Amen. I really give a lot of credit to our the men and women in the armed services, and it's a great thing. And I think the further you get away, the more proud you are to have worn the uniform. And I give those men and women a lot of credit.
Yeah, well, I have a father that's a retired Army colonel and a brother retired colonel from the Air Force, so I have a lot of respect for those. And again, that's Wednesday, New York Racing Association, Veterans Day at the track. So if you're a military folk, bring out the military ID, you get in for free. Terry, we appreciate the visit this morning. Again, good luck. You got some West Point horses that'll be running in the last week of the meet?
I think we'll run about 4 or 5.
Excellent.
But, always a pleasure to come on board.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it. And again, you can look for those nice distinctive yellow silks with the black star on the back. We'll root for West Point. And if you're interested in learning more about West Point and perhaps becoming a partner yourself, they have a website. If you go to Google and type in West Point Thoroughbreds, it'll take you right there. You can find out all the info. And you also have a white paper that is available for download that kind of gives the background on partnerships and some information.
It does. I think it's a good way to just kind of get in touch